Right, hello. Uh, Fuck. It's late. I wanted to stream earlier, but I did not. Fuck. Did do schoolwork though. So, it's something productive. Kind of. Yeah. Anyhoozle. I want to continue playing Amphoreus stuff. I don't know if I'll stay up to try and finish it or what. I think I'll just, play it by ear.
Welcome to the Demigod Council. Esteemed guests.
Cool. Hopefully I get to play as Alexa. Alright. Follow the messenger and meet with Elder Kindness. Hi, Elder Kindness. Just, don't mind me. Can I just run past? I can. I mean, might as well. Okay. I assume I'll be able to explore here. So I'll just talk to Elder Kindness. She'll talk about how we're going to overthrow the Chrysos heirs or what have you, because that's one of her interests in life. Right?
Lord Anaxagoras, oh, I've heard so much about you. Head of the Nusporists of the Grove of Epiphany, notorious blasphemer, a Chrysos heir who bears Circe's core flame, a survivor of the Grove calamity. Did I miss anything? Well, if so, please be so kind as to enlighten me.
Erudition unit.
Since Lady Kindness is already well acquainted with me, I won't waste any effort introducing myself again. But then again, perhaps the customs are different here. Back in my hometown, there is a form of etiquette known as honoring guests. The host will welcome their guest with warm hospitality by treating them to fine wine and a cozy bed. And yet, ever since I arrived, I have not been welcomed.
There's no bed?
Courtesy or ceremonial gifts. Instead, I am met with intense scrutiny. Even more absurd, the host has sharpened their blade and instructed their servants to lie in wait in the shadows.
Oh.
Perhaps you intend to cut open my heart, retrieve the core flame, and then hold a grand feast for all of the guests.
Everyone, stand down.
Okay. He noticed.
Thank you for understanding. I am but a feeble scholar who is not used to the stench of avarice and blood.
No need to be humble, my
Even though you
lord.
have a gun.
From my perspective, your courage and gumption are worthy of the reputation of the Seven Sages. Your bravery is more than adequate to accomplish our perilous endeavor.
So, you wish to start a war?
Well, since the Chrysos heirs are calling for war, we will respond in kind. Conflict is inevitable. Since Aglaya endeavors to suppress the virtuous commoners with blood of gold, we will not hesitate to display the rights and mettle the citizens of Akama are so entitled to. As to your question of whether peace is still a viable option, well, to that I can only say this. Everything hinges on the next citizens' assembly and whether they have a sudden epiphany amid the clamor of the masses.
I'm pretty sure they've steered public opinion.
And since you, as a Chrysos heir, accepted our invitation, you have indeed given us a glimmer of hope.
Are they hoping to steer it?
What brazen arrogance. What you're saying right now is worlds apart from what you were saying before you retired your cleaners.
I
Fucking
don't
smug
deny
look on
it.
it.
After all, they're responsible for cleaning up any threats, and just a moment ago, you were on the side of the Chrysos heirs. But now that you're an ally of ours, we can continue talking somewhere else. As you know, these walls have ears. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to discuss a treatise about the Venerationists with your teacher, Empedocles. Yet, it seems you subscribe to the Amphoreus instead, Lord Anaxa. I've heard that this school of thought is one with many detractors.
It's normal for ideas to have supporters and dissenters. Just like how there are two types of people in this world. Geniuses and dimwits.
I guess you could say Anaxa is very wise. Get it? Because they're the same actor. It's cool that Stephen Two's, you know, got other voice roles. The first time I heard of him was honestly fucking Fireland Engage. And then I learned that he voiced Jamie in SF6. And then it's like, oh my god, wait a minute. This fucking voice in Xenosaga Zero for Y sounds so familiar. And lo and behold, Stephen 2 as well. And now he's an Axa. Who, I did not recognize him as an Axa initially. I will say that. Something like this. Something like this. Shit. Okay. What about... Boom. Okay. Problem solved. I could use better subsets for casters at some point. Don't know when that'll be.
Welcome back to the hub of the Demigod Council, Lord Anaxagoras. Surely you remember that countless eloquent orators have stood in this spot before and emerged victorious by stoking public sentiment with their words. And yet there have also been innumerable blasphemous philosophers who set themselves up for failure because they refused to defend their actions.
Something akin to Socrates?
This tiny stage is the most profound embodiment of Akama in centuries. In 15 days, this site shall also become the most important, as well as the final turning point in Akama's history. May the both of us carry out our duties with honor and lead the masses back toward the Erechrysia, a golden age with no death, strife, or trickery.
Pretty sure Cypher has the core flame of trickery, so... Oh. I'm sorry. Like... Unless there's something I'm missing about the whole... Well, I guess there's, like, laws to how the Titans control things, but... No death, strife, or trickery seems impossible to me. Perhaps you can mitigate it. Is that Kefli's... That is Kefli's core flame up there. Is this chilling?
Oh my, 15 days and nights. That aligns perfectly with the date of your demise. Could such a coincidence truly exist?
Using death to prove myself fits my intentions perfectly.
What strong conviction you have, as expected of the hero who dared to stand up to the Gold Weaver.
As expected, she misunderstands you.
Yep.
That's enough, Lady Kindness. Dispense with the niceties. I only accepted your invitation so that I can serve the commoners alongside the members of the Council of Elders. Don't test my patience with such superfluous formalities.
Oh yeah, now that I think about it, I remember that, he went to... He went to offer his condolences to the family members who lost, or people who lost their family members from the assault on the Grove, and also inform them.
Well, you say that now, but surely you also require my
So he does
aid
care about
as
people,
well,
obviously.
so that you can stay alive even when being pursued by the Golden Thread?
Probably because he relates to the fact that his sister got murdered, or killed during the Black Tide.
You worry too much. She won't show her hand too freely, as she still needs to garner support from the masses at the Citizens' Assembly.
Even someone like me can tell that only a sliver of her humanity remains. Surely you're not asserting that she will definitely act in a rational manner.
I wonder how she was before
As
she
you're
lost all
no
her,
doubt aware,
most of her humanity.
Aglaia covets the core flame that I possess, which makes it the bargaining chip that allows me and the rest of you to negotiate with her. However, in return, I'll need the Council of Elders to support me as much as possible. Naturally, this includes the guards as well.
What's his play?
You're well aware how valuable Cersei's core flame will be in the era Chrysia that you are desperately pursuing. Talk is cheap, so you'd better act prudently as well.
I understand. After all, this battle of wits is just a means for each party to acquire what they need. As long as your request is reasonable, the Council of Elders never shortchanges its allies. Since we're both intent on mutual cooperation, let's not mince words and just speak plainly to each other.
Cede all control to me. That's my request.
Let us decide how much we can secure for ourselves and how much we're willing to sacrifice, like true philosophers, with our words and wisdom.
Are we debating? Let's begin then.
Continuing from the earlier topic, let us discuss our common enemy, Aglaia. She is the second most experienced Chrysos heir across the whole of Akama, who has gradually lost her humanity to the ravages of time and the ablation of the core flame. A formidable opponent indeed. Admittedly, there is ample reason for her to take your life. Yet your previous reasoning is quite sound. As a seasoned political animal, it's unclear whether she will actually cross that irreversible boundary. Moreover, she still needs you alive so that the Titan's trial can be completed.
Yeah, to find a candidate to bear Cersei's core flame as cast isn't worth it IMO. Well, to each their own.
Is there anyone present who can swear by the sacred vow of Kefali and guarantee that you weren't in league with that woman before coming here?
Hearing Cass is weird because they
Are
call her
you
Cass
just
for a
trying to
nickname.
pull the wool over our eyes and aid her in her savagery?
She is prepared to execute me.
I believe you're aware of Castorus the Executioner.
I'm throwing a hissy fit
Long
because they still
before I
can't use
returned to
Sunday.
Akama, Aglaia had already dispatched her to monitor me.
Right.
If I weren't able to reach this place in time, I would have been forced to meet Thanatos first. As compared to a comprehensive plan with uncertain results, if you decide to cut open my chest and remove the core flame, wouldn't that settle her nerves even more? Everything is in place. She just needs the right timing.
That's why I'm saying she isn't worth it for me, because I still can't use Sunday. Fair. Isn't worth it for you. Okay, got it.
I understand what you mean. At the very least, the both of us agree that this tyrant who wallows in extravagance and greed is the greatest threat to achieving peace in Akama. The Council of Elders is willing to defend your right to live, just as we defend every oppressed citizen. However, I regret to say that sentiments in favor of the Chrysos heirs and Aglaia are only growing in magnitude.
They did protect
The
Akama.
peace that we are aspiring toward, as well as everything that we hold dear, will be destroyed completely. The city will be burned to ashes, and the citizens' blood will be shed.
I think I'll get Jiaocho instead, because it's a man. BRB. Okay.
Tell me,
I was about to say something about
what
their
are you
Jiaocho
willing
stuff.
to do for
But I'll
our
wait.
esteemed citizens, so that they can vanquish the enemies of our fine city?
I will be the one to shatter Aglaia's self-righteousness.
Aglaia's authoritarianism, conceit, and arrogance have granted her unfettered control for the most part. Yet these traits are also her greatest weakness. If I can render her help happiness by forcing her to experience the agonizing pain of betrayal. I am certain she will never recover from such a setback.
Surely you don't believe that such a tiny betrayal will be enough to push her to her wit's end.
What's more, there are many who remain silent, merely watching to see how much chaos I can unleash. Not to mention, you know full well that the Chrysos heirs have never been a united front.
They've been mostly united.
In the name of Kefali, Akama thanks you for your sincere and valuable thoughts.
Well, we don't have to say that.
At this stage, it's clear that you and I understand the benefits to be won from this discussion. Let me put it plainly. The Council of Elders has always been renowned for its fairness, and that fairness is built on a foundation of sincerity. The Council of Elders has vowed to all citizens of Akaba that it will always remain loyal to them. As for you, my lord, how will you guarantee that you will be able to live up to such earnestness and will not betray Akama's indomitable citizens when the opportunity presents itself? Just as you now betray Aglaya when it suits you.
Ooh. How absurd. My loyalty is unquestionable. Unquestionable.
Surely you
Unquestionable.
My loyalty does not need to be proven. The fact that the Council of Elders is asking for proof of my loyalty is itself akin to a form of betrayal.
I am incredibly honored to have witnessed the both of you bury the hatchet in a civilized manner.
Oh yeah, Lagus can hear
However, I am
Cersei, so
afraid that I must interrupt for a
gotta be
brief
careful.
moment. As the Theoros, I have observed the following. Lady Aglaya, the Goldweaver, is currently on her way to Dawncloud.
Maybe she's just here to say hi.
Oh. Well, I do believe that we might have a slight overabundance of guests today.
Feeling dissatisfied, Lady Kindness? Despite the Council of Elders' lofty residence on Dawncloud, it must still tolerate the whims of the Chrysos heirs.
So you were holding back just now. Seems like you are better at playing this game than I. In any case, I'm glad that she's arriving here. So tell me, Anaxagoras, now that you're an ally of mine, if Aglaya were to demand that I hand you over, what should I do?
Ooh.
You can do as she says. Tell her that the Council of Elders merely wished to chat with me and had no intention of offending her. However, by doing so, the authority of the Council of Elders will be as thin as papyrus that has been soaked in blood. Not only can it be destroyed at the slightest touch, but the Council will also lose possession of a valuable core flame.
The way you say it doesn't sound like a good suggestion for them.
No, more like 2 core flames. After all, at the next Citizens' Assembly, that young lady who is synonymous with death will also be standing on our side.
Oh, implying that you're gonna cast threats on the council's side? Right now I don't see it, but
Oh? How can you be sure of that?
Is that of importance to you? All you need to know is that I have a plan. In my opinion, you should be more worried about the impending threat. If Aglaya can seize me in full view of the masses today, she could also dismiss the entire Council of Elders in one fell swoop tomorrow. If that happens, the discussion that we've just had will turn into an utter joke instead. Is this the outcome that you wish to see, Lady Kindness?
he's implying, hey, don't hand me over to Aglaya. He's slinging out pretty thick though.
Fine. I will handle this matter appropriately. But you do best to remember this. Fool the people and karma will be on your tail. I'll overlook it this time, but don't count on there being a next time. Unless, of course, you crave cruel punishment and consider suffering the perfect state to ponder the true nature of souls.
Well, what do you know? That happens to be one of my rare talents.
did sacrifice his eye to see his sister.
We shall see then.
I found a show. It's really weird. Each ep is a movie length each. Oh. Oh yeah, one thing about getting jailed show that I wanted to mention is that like he is really good with Acheron in terms of alt damage amplification, and on top of that, he's also voiced by Mark Witten, who also voices Kazuha in Genshin Impact. Also, it's just really weird. I know, that's why I want to get him.
I've got to say that you've managed to really impress me again.
Which one are you even talking about? I probably
Shouldn't you
haven't
be
watched
going
it.
after more?
Man, I don't really care about Kazoo. Blasphemous. That's blasphemy.
Dying to know what I'm after.
But to each their own.
I mean, I'm the reason Titan after all. It is in me to ask and seek answers.
Easy there. You'll learn the answers soon enough.
It's fine.
I didn't bring it up with her purely because she doesn't have the means to give me what I truly want. It's as they say, onlookers see most clearly.
What's his plan?
The true masters of Dawn.
But I'm not ecstatic for him.
Always been
It's
the
fair.
Theoros, who watches over everything.
An expected visitor.
Speaking of Theoros.
Welcome.
Oh wait, is
once again.
no wait, Lagos isn't Theoros.
You know,
Who's Theoros again?
you could actually
BRB.
skip all
Alright.
the pointless debate and come straight to me to seek an audience with Kefali. I have no reason to refuse you, do I?
Do
You
you?
may not, but kindness has. Whoever gets hold of Kefali's core flame will get to rule over Akama.
And that is fine.
She's wary of me, so naturally I had to gain her trust. I would say that debate was not at all pointless.
Very true.
So Lagos knows more than Kindness
In my
does.
view,
Well, I guess he
this
gets to talk with Cersei, so
individual
that's
has gone
something.
to great lengths to get close to Kefali. He might very well be plotting something nefarious against the Titan.
he can hear you.
Are you still willing to let him pass, knowing this?
Oh, she's talking. Cersei's talking to. Okay, got it. Naxa may be
Yes,
nefarious.
very much so.
I don't think he is,
All
but
living creations are always free to visit Kefali's transcendent vessel. This comes with being the world bearer.
How convenient it is to be able to hear what they say.
It is truly my honor to speak to a venerated Titan in person. Please, go ahead. Let me join you both on this journey.
playable Lagos. Oh my god.
A bygone myth tells of an occasion where Kefali once answered their followers' questions on the peak of the Holy Mountain. Their followers have since believed that scaling this Titan cliff is one way of being with the god.
Pitch is definitely
Hear
very,
that?
very different, but
It's
I
not
don't
every
know.
day that you
It's
get
so,
to climb a mountain with Cersei's. You should sing me a hymn of praise.
praise.
Titan hymns are beyond me the same essence.
Anyway, what I was about to say is, Lygus, I feel like the tone reminds me a lot of G-Man. The way Lygus talks. I don't think it's the G-Man voice actor or anything like that, but this is very reminiscent of him. Though, again, pitch is different,
Go
so...
melt it down.
Take a look. This is pure genius in action.
Alright. So, 10, 11, 12. And there's 2 more to get. Alright. Oh my god, Legs. You need to break, you need to get Onyx's blessing. Or Yanis's blessing. With this, boom.
Go on ahead. Take this Yanis shortcut, and the long pilgrimage stairway will be waiting for you at its end.
A fight as well?
I have to admit, I never expected you to not ask me anything. Not even my motive.
Perhaps Lycus's motives are different from Kindness's? I assumed that they were aligned in their motive, or goals, but maybe not.
Because I know very well what it is you are after. As the saying goes, a gentleman helps others achieve their goals. I have a feeling that your theory will be validated at the end of this journey. I believe Kefali will not deprive you of your right to ask your question, especially now that you're on the brink of death. You must be closer to Kefali than anyone else. Wouldn't you agree?
Because Kefli's dying.
I hope things go as you say, then.
Putting a child of justice into a farcical world is bound to turn it upside down. It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world, which is on the brink of destruction.
Perhaps Lycus is more open-minded than Kindness. At least, from what I can tell. He's pretty he's pretty cool guy. I completely forgot what the term of the race is that he is. It started with an A, I believe. Kefali!
Honestly, this is my first time going up to Dawn Cloud's peak.
What a splendid view. Isn't it about time you recognize the magnificence of us Titans?
He's gonna say no.
Well, I don't see how this place is different from those temples in the city. All they have are magnificent facades. And even though I've come this far, I'm still doubtful about getting useful clues from him.
I must be getting ahead of myself to be expecting to hear something nice from you.
Oh? Haven't you been in my head for some time now? It's high time you get used to how I feel about things. Alright, we're just a short hike away from Kefali. No time to waste here.
Oh.
So the intellectual debate from earlier was too draining for you, huh? If Amphoreus gets a new lease on life, you should focus on strengthening your body and stop shirking social interactions.
Save your concern.
The Titan is in sight. Can you make it?
Why? Are you going to carry me up if I were to fall now?
Can Cersei even do that?
I know how far I can go, so just hold your tongue and come along.
Fine then. I guess I won't say any more. I'll just wait till your soul dissipates completely to gain control over your body.
Wait. Is that Cersei's?
Memory fragment?
Hey, look at that.
Huh? What should I be looking at?
Oh.
Am I hallucinating? Or do we even get to see souls when we're close to dying?
You're a pretty unique case in how you're getting close to death. So, there's that. Anyway, is this a memory? Nikodor? Looks like Nias, so I'm assuming it's Nikodor.
Oh? Why didn't you bring your favorite spear with you on this trip, Nias?
Ah, yes. I know I've heard this name somewhere.
Huh. It's unfortunate. The Black Tide destroyed every last inch of my calyx.
How could that be? Even a creation of Georios, from their prized ores and molten fire, couldn't escape the fate of destruction?
Hey, Cersei's. Do you know a certain Nias?
Nias? No, not that I remember. How did you even think up such a strange name?
What?
I just saw him. Nias. A warrior-like figure who was just chatting with you here.
No, I have no such memory. Could you be hallucinating?
Huh?
This is a departed spirit.
Memory Cersei doesn't remember? Yeah, they're just chilling. Catch. Halt, traveler from afar, Buzz. 100 challengers have already failed my trial. Will he be the 101st? For the honor of being a weaver, Buzz, take a guess. Behind which tree am I hiding? What happens if I attack? This is also a way to break the game, Buzz. That was the middle one. All I won.
I suppose I can just do this.
Elevator? Platform thing? Wee. Shit. This Amphoreus. Alright.
You two again.
I think I saw one down here. Yes, I did. How many? 5? Why 5? Take that one. Tweet, you found me. Something about that mural feels off. The many-eyed blind figure seems to be missing a few feathers. Tweet, why could that be? Is it a revelation granted by my master? Or a connection beyond time and space? Tweet. What the space? Oh, it's my punch eyeball. No achievement. Okay. I don't know. Where, oh where? How high up can I go? Pretty high up. Alright. Another Cersei's mural. How? I would not want to be the guy working on that. Just getting there, you'd have to go down the mountain path here, or go up, and climb up, and then start engraving. And I don't recall seeing any flying creatures that you could ride atop of. Outside of Caster's memo spray, but I'm pretty sure that's just for her. Not really anyone else, so, you know. Alright, where is the last one? Should be here somewhere. There we are. It's open enough.
Useful for alchemy.
Enough about me. Did Kaos ever reply to you?
Cows.
Well, regrettably.
Who is that if not
Seems like the price of
Cersei's?
becoming a demigod is a lot heftier than we thought.
Chaos. Demigod. I've never heard of this person. Which Titan's authority did he inherit?
Look on the bright side, Nias. Since we've come all this way, I doubt he he'd snub his old friends, would he?
Is this perhaps similar to how in Honkai Impact, where everything just resets essentially once the Black Tide is victorious, where everyone perishes except for maybe a select few, and then it starts all over again?
Let's just hope we mean as much as the world to him.
Hey! Are you seeing that same hallucination again?
I'm curious what this means.
It's still you, Anais, but you're now talking about a certain Chaos. I'm guessing he's one of your companions?
Chaos? This name sounds just as strange to me.
It could be possible that's not Cersei's and just what Cersei's
Never mind.
based their template off
I
of.
think I know what this is about. If things are as I thought, then they aren't hallucinations, but
That goes to the
the
past.
souls of people.
That, yeah, that.
But if those are the souls of the dead, then what am I?
Beats me. For all I know, you're just an illusion I conjured up in my dying moments. Let's just keep going. As long as I take in more sights and hear more stories.
Know your limits. Wander too far among the dead, and even I might not be able to save you.
Fine. If this is indeed as I thought, then this will be very amusing.
Offer greetings carefully. This is a pilgrimage platform dedicated to devout believers, but you, Anaxagoras, never kneel to false gods. Wait, there were some other kneel spots, I believe. Hold on. Just want to see, real quick. Not from here. This is a pilgrimage platform dedicated to devout believers. Okay. It's cool that there's a thing for, not being him. Or, for being Anaxa here. I'm assuming, once I can go to this place outside of the POV stuff, then I can offer my greetings then. Chick. Alright. More souls. I need 2 more treasures, and both of them probably are the Spirit Thief. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh shit. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we are. Oh, just. Oh my god. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to be on this side when I hit end. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but then I'll collide so. What if... Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What if instead I do this? Because now... Yeah, okay. I was too fixated on finishing on the blue button when I could have just lined it up like that. Okay, we're good. I'm not completely stupid.
So, we meet again. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a snipping ear.
Can you keep going?
Of course. I'm just... If I knew we had to climb a mountain, I wouldn't have come along with you.
I guess this also counts as one aspect of the world-bearing burden. If Amphoreus does have an ex-life, you may want to get your body in shape.
Sounds familiar. Wasn't that what Cersei said to Naxa?
Keep your sarcasm to yourself.
I'm not getting anything of value from them.
I would sooner throw myself off this cliff and hit rock bottom than exercise even a little.
Oh my god. Not against it.
I am Calypso of the eminent Seven Sages, after all. Training would make me no different from those Helcalithist barbarians.
Wasn't that those alias that Cersei went under?
Calypso. She's one of the Seven Sages. A member of the Grove?
Oh, butterfly.
No, she can't be. I would know her name if she really were one of the Seven Sages. Hey, Cersei's. Does the name Calypso ring a bell? Cersei's?
Uh-oh.
Gone. Doesn't matter. I can do this myself.
That's the spirit?
Looks like I'm nearly there now. The land of the dead.
Grab. Nothing is impossible if you keep trying. One day I'll climb to the top of the cliff and stand shoulder to shoulder with the Sun Bear, Buzz. Wait, how can you fly? That's unfair, Buzz. Oh, I can fly too. Never mind then, Buzz. I was about to say that. Beat me to it though.
Legendary era Chrysia, return to the mortal realm.
Did Cersei go on ahead?
Splendid gods once walked the paths we walk. Alas, all that's left of that warmth is a hazy mirage.
Why are you chanting that too?
Devoted emissaries, heretical scholars, heretic, I don't know. The lost wanderer and the desperate outlaw. At the edge of divinity, we look up in awe. In a fleeting moment of terror, the long road behind fades from memory. Oh?
Not too shabby.
Oh.
Useful for alchemy.
I don't need speed. What are you fucking doing, yeah?
Take a look. This is pure genius in action.
One's missing. Interesting. Related to a side thing, perhaps? Definitely a spirit thief. Is.
We're here. Finally. So, I don't get to ask the Titan my question. But all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless. Very well then. Let me uncover the truth for myself.
You still got 15 days, right?
Did I still fail to make it in time? So, I'm back here again.
Uh-oh.
This is... I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides. Behind the closed doors of the void world. A voice ready to tell me something. This time, the voice is a lot clearer than before.
Since we've come this far, let's just wait.
Lord Nias and Miss Calypso, are you both here to visit Chaos too?
Looks a lot like Castor's. Got the power flame motif too. Perhaps the princess? Sorry. Okay, we're good. I just put my phone away. Getting distracted by it.
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some time now.
Regrettably, he hasn't answered us. The worst case scenario is that he's already been overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden.
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. I can still sense Chaos' soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily, much less give up on all that he holds dear. Isn't that so?
So yeah, it sounds like there were previous eras of Amphoreus then. With Chrysos heirs that would bear the core flames of the Titans. So... I'm assuming this is the princess who ends up bearing death. Calypso reason. Nias strife. And Chaos is the world-bearing one, so...
Yes. I have faith in him.
At least that's my theory right now.
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Sister. Oh wait, how long ago was this then? Because wait, hold on. Nias is Nikador's... Well, actually, yeah, it could still take place a long time ago.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you were born only to take over Thanatos' divinity.
Is this... Okay, sister... Castor's sister?
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken to the core. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange that has revealed the ultimate answer to Cersei's question.
People bear the core
The
flame.
conjecture has taken shape and must now be
They become
solidified
tokens.
into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kefali. By doing so, I can answer Cersei's question and reclaim my body. But no, I will not do that.
Oh.
That isn't important. Because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving, has been proved right this very instant. Fusing a mortal soul with that of a Titan to replace said Titan is not a ludicrous idea after all.
Yes, Anias becomes Nikador. Polixia becomes Thanatos. I'm curious how long ago this was. Donhong's POV. The most straightforward way to maintain a databank is to visit the local databank. Donhong knows this well.
What are you thinking about?
Just amazed at how this towering tree is Cersei's divine body. It's a majestic sight.
Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you seem to be strangely familiar with the city around the Great Tree.
Merely something from the past that I won't go into.
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Cersei's.
Vibrator?
Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars. And their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree. Because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot.
You're a sky priest, yet you study at a place that is home to the Reason Titan. That's rather counterintuitive.
Don't read too much into it. I mean, can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Cersei's. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky only expects people to revere them.
Well, I'm assuming you'll inherit the core flame.
You get what I'm saying, right, Denny? After all, the titan that imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphoreus is none other than Aquila themselves.
Yes, I didn't count on provoking the ire of a local god.
But there will always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for.
Not to say that there are multiple, Amphoreus has been through multiple cycles and repeating the cycle over and over, essentially. But, different people. March maybe was one of the survivors of that cycle, but was expelled into space.
It's just... I never thought Grey would meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by his side.
Bad luck tends to come in streaks, so don't beat yourself up over it. Besides, Aglaia needs you here to uncover the truth behind what happened to the Grove. Let's just make the most out of this trip and keep a lookout for any documents related to the Death Titan. They could be useful to Bub.
There's no rest for the weary, huh? In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny, with your skills, I'm sure those monsters born of the Black Tide will pose no threat to you anyway.
What about you? Will you be alright on your own?
Have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
The silence in here is near deafening. With the vast amount of knowledge it holds, this academy is akin to a labyrinth of information. Even the cleverest of scholars would easily lose their way in here. I should gather my thoughts before heading in. Not to leave Amphoreus. In the myths, Aquila, the Titan who reigns over the domain of the skies, is a colossal bird that overlooks the world beneath them with 100 eyes. As long as they continue to soar above the clouds, the people of Amphoreus will remain trapped on the ground. Hyacinth's forebears were priests who worshipped Aquila. Nobody is more familiar with the taboos of the Sky Titan than her. Seeing how Aglaia has sent her here as a guide, it's possible that she plans to have Hyacinth take on a trial in the future. Very likely, versus Titan mythology. In Amphoreus, Titans are a common topic of discussion. People create myths that, in turn, conceive Titans. It's a tricky task to keep an objective view among the people of Amphoreus. Is there a way to step out of this situation and look at it from a different perspective? Titans and Eons. Titans and Eons are two distinct classes of beings. Titans can communicate with us humans, and it is not impossible for us to overpower them. Upon their demise, we can even take over their divinity. In this regard, Titans can be said to be a lot more similar to humans than Eons are. Chrysos heirs and demigods. Chrysos heirs are humans who possess heroic qualities, with most of them demonstrating extraordinary combat prowess and strength. Upon clearing a core flame trial, Chrysos heir can even ascend to a demigod and inherit a Titan's divinity. Wait, something about that feels off. Is this a selection process of some sort? Compatibility. The Flame Chase journey into prophecy. Guided by the prophecy, the heroes are on a quest to reclaim core flames and usher in the Era Nova. Their efforts have seen gratifying results to date. As I expected, the prophecy is the hardest to make any sense of, with barely any information to go on. No matter how much I ruminate on it, it won't yield any results. I should leave this for another time. I still think the Flame Reaver is fine in somehow, but there might be a possibility that it's Chaos. Although I assume Kefli is Chaos right now, so maybe not. I should probably turn my attention to something else. Bub's plight. Nobody could have ever imagined that Bub's life would be forfeited the moment we landed on Amphoreus. I should have done more to keep him safe. But it's not too late. We still have a fighting chance. The unique rules that govern life and death on Amphoreus might just work in our favor and save him. The Grove is a veritable library of knowledge. Maybe they'll have records on a similar case? Please let there be one. Enough musing for now. It's time to move. The clock is ticking. I should search for clues as I move. The night sky feels unusual, and I've gotten used to the eternal light of Hakama. I want to see his details, but cannot, unfortunately.
Look who's graced us with their presence. Guess I'll be in your shadow now.
Super crit boost.
All or nothing. Just don't abandon your principles.
Alright. Starting from here. Alright. Investigate the remains of the black tide that spawned the monster. Black tide spawned a monster.
This will strengthen our position.
A day of peaceful repose.
Sunday has... Well, actually, there hasn't been much involvement with the Welt on Sunday quite yet. Besides the Hervis stuff and then Himiko's pursuing March encased in ice. Fight time? Black monsters are twisted in form, and their life has turned to ash together with their souls. It's impossible to figure out their form when they were still alive. These are the remains of a black tide monster. Those look different from the Titankin from up close. What's that underneath it? A scroll? A recorded debate between Venerationist and Nusporist scholars. Most of it is illegible, leaving only fragments of dialogue. Okay. We all recall that state that dared touch the sky. But what were they really? Just blind masses manipulated by ambitious politicians who dared challenge the Titan's authority. A completely meaningless attempt. An absolute mistake. You Venerationists have bowed to the Titans for so long. You've forgotten a scholar's true purpose? I know it's probably not an accident, but... Making a mistake does not mean the act was meaningless. Even those students new to the Grove understand this from basic logic lessons. An entire city-state reduced to ashes proved the skyship's construction was a mistake. To me, that's precisely the meaning they achieved through sacrifice. Just rendered down to nothing. Am I hearing this right? Such a statement. Are you converting to venerationism? No. I'm simply examining the matter from another perspective. Legible content ends here. As I expected, the Grove doesn't forbid discussions about the sky. It's a debate between two scholars about the sky ships. Laya also made mention of the ships when she interrogated us. A memory I'd rather forget. I'll hold on to this for now. With any luck, this journey won't leave us empty-handed. I know she didn't intend on killing us, but... that was a, not fun situation. Hi, sir. What's going on? That's... Hyacin? Why is she surrounded by so many monsters? As much as I have faith in her, it's probably a good idea to help her out there.
Really now? This is way more trouble than I could have asked for.
Need a hand?
Or you could sit back and watch.
I can't tell if you're serious or not, but being hard to read isn't without its perks, I suppose.
I'm kidding, Danny. Lend me a hand, pretty please. All right, now let's get him.
So much dialogue stuff, not voiced. All right.
Don't move, okay?
Watch your head. I've heard the call, loud and clear. Now, bid you farewell. This mortal form. I will walk with you, watch over you, and guide you on your path.
Alright, now damage.
The truth of life and death, revealed in an instant.
This end. It's but a vision!
No dirty tricks, alright? The dice have been cast.
Oh, that's what it
Bust.
said.
Or maybe I'll take it all.
Should be a follow-up.
All in.
Clemency? Never heard of it.
Pick it up a notch. Let's play hide and seek. Thousand
Faces,
faces,
a thousand places.
Can you find the answer?
So close.
Step aside. I have no interest in stoking conflict. The time is now.
Wrench. And that's follow-up.
Watch your head. I will overcome the thorns. Serenity stands clear before me.
That's a kill. Just gotta get all the crit boost stack. This place is practically in ruins. What happened? There shouldn't be this many monsters here.
The black tide is remarkably quick to detect the light of Amphoreus. So or rather, the blessings of the Sky Priest in me, might have unknowingly called them to me. Anyway, never
That's a
mind
good
that
way to
for now.
farm for mats.
Here, you might want to have a look at this. I found it around here and thought it might be of interest to you.
Another debate? A debate record. Yep. Euthyphro. That sounds familiar. Shit, I don't remember. Well then, enlighten me. What exactly do you mean by examining from another perspective? Simple. You see, when we stand normally, the sky is above. When we stand on our heads, it's below our feet. I don't even want to know what kind of situation inspired you to make such exalted theories. By the way, I have a student who loves to write satirical comedies and once wrote about a fool who could not figure out a question no matter what. As I said, there's no reasoning with you venerationists. You're like Dromuses, huge yet always gazing downward at the earth, while I want to be the wasp that stings the Dromus. What if that state tyrant's defeat simply proved that among all paths to Aquila, the sky ship was the wrong one? So, no, don't use the sky ship to reach Aquila. Oh, Anaxagoras, you impious blasphemer. Mark my words. You'll eventually answer for your sacrilege. I doubt your students, or that young teaching assistant girl, have any idea what secret research you're truly conducting. Legible content ends here. It was an Anaxagoras. He's a scholar who fused himself with the core flame of reason.
This is new. I didn't know Professor Anaxa was researching the sky. He's never mentioned anything about it.
Maybe behind the scenes he was trying to find ways to reach each of the Titans. To help the Crisis Heirs? Pinan said Anaxa might be opposed to the Flame Chase journey.
Might is an understatement. Anaxa has never been one to venerate the gods, nor has he ever found it within himself to put any faith in the prophecy.
Who wants to reach that? Did he just not want Hyacinth to die pointlessly?
Heretic, even in a place as liberal as the Grove. Yet, it is also this very blasphemer that Circe's favors. Fate sure works in mysterious ways.
What's the other path? Erudition, remembrance. I'd like to think finality, but I guess we'll see. I picked up a scroll on my way here too. It looks like it may be related to the one you're holding.
Oh? Let me have a look.
Hyacinth combines both records together.
By the looks of them, these scrolls are records of two conversations that took place in the same setting, one after the other.
Yeah. There's still much I don't know about the Grove. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Go ahead.
Who are the
The
Venerationists?
Grove of Epiphany is home to 7 schools of thought. While all 7 schools are founded on the ideologies of Thalesis, the first scholar, each is unique in its own way. Among them, the Venerationists revere and worship the Titans the most.
Explains why they don't get along with Anaxagoras.
As the sage of the Venerationists, Euthyphro has always been at loggerheads with Anaxa. If we were to place the 7 sages on the scales of Talanton, Anaxa and Euthyphro would be placed on opposite sides to achieve balance.
A very illustrative explanation. Thank you. Was it a mistake to build the skyships?
Nearly everyone in Amphoreus has heard the story of the skyships by now. Aquila's stature is loftier than the heavens, and their divine retribution is merciless. That's why it's no use building giant skyfaring ships. Oh, but I do wonder if a supercharged mini treaty cannon could slip past their watch.
Imagine. That was a joke, right? Maybe? Maybe not. I feel like every time I joke during the Woo Forum, Hyacinth disapproved. What is the Nexus field of study?
Forests primarily study the application of alchemy and soul repair. Everyone considers Anaxa a blasphemer, but that has never stopped him from sharing his ideas, no matter how taboo. If you must say that he's hiding something, then it's likely what lies beneath his eye patch.
Empty eye socket. I don't have any more questions.
Anaxa often
Although it
says
seems to
that
have some form of
every
power.
failure brings us one step closer to the truth. Perhaps, to him, the crash of the sky ship carries a different interpretation. The firmament is not impenetrable. On the contrary, it was precisely because the sky ship represented the first step toward breaking free from the shackles of the earth that it provoked the wrath of the Sky Titan and brought divine punishment upon itself. It's A shame that the majority of the Grove's research on Aquila was headed by the Venerationists, with sacrificial rituals making up a predominant part of their findings. Discourse about more esoteric subject matters in relation to Aquila dwindled even further after the skyship incident. So much so that even the scroll is completely new to me.
Oh yeah, it being headed by the Venerationists means that anything that they would consider blasphemous towards the Titans would be shot down instantly, and some of them might be more justified. But considering that they're allowing sacrificial rituals, I don't think they're the best people to head it. Don't worry about it. We'll just collect everything we can find on the Titans for now. There's something else that's caught my attention, though. This says that Anaxa is conducting secret experiments of some sort?
That's what I'd like to know. What are these experiments he's involved in? Even I, the assistant lecturer, know next to nothing about them. I have a bad feeling about this. Could there be more to what happened at the Grove?
Potentially?
A day of peaceful. Feeling lucky. Feeling lucky. Feeling lucky.
There shouldn't be a fight here.
This is the Library of Philia, a place where the Grove stores its collection of tomes.
Beats
Other
like a heart
than
too.
books written by the 7 schools, you can also find philosophical texts, ballads, and religious writings from the Outlands here. Cities that desired to learn from the Grove were apparently expected to contribute knowledge of equal value to what they saw. We've had more than our fair share of hilarious episodes over the years. For instance, it's said that the Erythrocheramists once borrowed a manuscript from a certain author, but ended up returning a copy instead of the original. What's more, the original manuscript has supposedly been hidden here.
What, so they can make more money? Or just like, I want the original, it's mine. How many seasons are there? That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
No need to hold yourself back, Danny. You can just tell it like it is. Their behavior was no different from bandits.
Well, if you don't mind, did the Grove ever rob Castrum Kremnos?
You've got me there. Some said you couldn't even find a dictionary in Castrum Kremnos, so I guess they were spared.
I guess Mighty's an exception in that he's pretty well learned.
There are too many books in the Library of Philia. Flipping through them all will take too long. Why don't we use the Biblioslate to search for the texts we need? We can bring them back to Occama for reading after that.
Convenient. Agreed. This place isn't safe. We should leave as soon as we're done. There are still several more scrolls strewn all over the place. I'll gather them while you pull up those texts. This way, nothing will be overlooked. Covered in annotations from many scholars. Its title is The Art of Sophistry, 40 Ways to Improve Your Debating Skills. Oh. Wait, I read this. Oh. Whoops. Never mind, I have not read this. You skim through it, and the highlighted methods include virtual causation, false premises, contradiction conversion, conflating prevarication and reality, misinterpreted punctuation, misattribution, and generalizing specificity. among others. Amidst it are scholars' exclamations, a true eye-opener. The art of language knows no bounds. If I can't master sophistry, I can at least learn to defend myself against them as an honest man, and so on. The last resort is, when all else fails, employ brute force. This isn't going to be of any help, that's for sure. Nonsense. A record of the many research topics a caprist scholar had applied for, and the replies from their school's sage about these topics. Topic 1. A discovery that many mythical beasts renowned for their longevity actually reside in areas with poorly managed birth and death records for such creatures. Permission to research. Reply. Lacks research significance. Not approved. Topic 2. An observation of real plants within the grove imitating the growth patterns of nearby white dryads. Permission to research. Reply. Falls under the domain of the Autophagus School. Not approved. Topic 3. Investigating the feasibility of placing flying birds into rocket tubes to guide the direction of the rocket's flight. Permission to research. Reply. Too fanciful. Not approved. That sounds so dumb. Unless you're placing Falco Lombardi in those rocket tubes, it's not gonna do much. The subsequent topics grew increasingly eclectic, yet the outcome of the replies remained unchanged. Impressive tenacity. Hopefully it helped him survive the black tide. These are complaint letters from the scholars about Anaxagoras the blasphemer. There is a thick stack of letters. Based on the dust accumulated and the perfectly intact seals, the complainee did not even bother opening them and just chucked them aside into a corner. This is about Anaxa? I should read this. Hyacinth, you should come have a look too.
Ugh, it's so dusty in here. Whoa. Are these all complaints about him? I can already see what they must have written. Anaxa has no respect for the gods. His very existence undermines order in our society. They're probably all things like that.
Does Anaxa hold that much influence?
Why else would they call him the Great Performer? When Anaxa established his school of thought, the first thing he apparently did was read his own work to everyone.
Oh.
Are the Titans truly an accurate reflection of what humans think gods should be? Worlds created by gods are indubitably perfect, but what of Amphoreus? Only foolishness and insensitivity everywhere you turn.
An uncanny impersonation. What happened after? I wonder if the VA heard Stephen Fu talk as Anaxa?
They marched him straight to the seat of
Or
judgment
not.
before he could finish.
I'm leaning towards not. Ah.
Though
course
what he
they did.
took on in the end was more of a debate than an actual trial. He had to address every one of the scholar's allegations, or face expulsion from the grove.
And considering he was still in the grove.
The first allegation was... Do you agree that since the Titans created the heavens and earth, so the mountains, rivers, and seas must likewise be their creations?
He definitely had a rebut already. Am I supposed to put myself in Anaxa's shoes and answer that? No. Based on the history of the Flame Chase journey, humans have the potential to take over the divinity of Titans.
Anaxa said the same thing then. Needless to say, his critics didn't take kindly to his answer, so they followed up with a second allegation. You claim to be studying souls, yet you are, in fact, defiling them and committing acts condemned by the gods. Do you admit it?
It's a serious allegation. Did he really do that?
Anaxa always wears an eye patch, never removing it, even when alone. Some say he used one of his eyes as an alchemical ingredient.
Not far off.
Every being in the world owes their safekeeping to Kifili, and this is even more so for the Chrysos heirs who have divine blood coursing through them. If he has really done something of that nature, then it'd indeed be sacrilegious. Thankfully, they had no way to prove it, so it amounted to nothing more than an allegation in the end. One by one, Anaxa engaged in wars of words against those who would challenge him. Toward the end, a scholar asked him, Anaxagoras, have you any respect for the gods? It was only after a brief silence that he answered, I have never denied that titans are meant to be noble constructs.
What he didn't say, that the Titans are not noble, rings louder in this case.
Yes. I'm not sure how that controversy was eventually resolved, but what's for certain at least is that Anaxa was allowed to stay in the grove where he continued his research, despite being regarded as a heretic. By the way, this stack of complaint letters has reminded me of a place in the grove. We may find clues there that aren't on the teleslate. I'm talking about Anaxa's alchemy lab, hidden between the cornerstones.
Given the Grove's meticulous approach to archiving, could there really be such an oversight right under their noses?
It's a well-kept secret. Among the 7 sages, excluding the nominal chief sage, each has a private sanctuary where they can conduct research undisturbed in their free time. Even the administrators of the Library of Philia are restricted from accessing those places and documenting the sage's research. But
Oh, sorry. I got lost in thought thinking about food because I'm hungry. Okay.
the grove in this state, I'm sure Anaxa won't be mad even if we sneak into the lab for a short while. Right?
How would he know? Unless maybe he has a recording device. These trees. Like a maze. Water wheel time. Take me up. I need to do this at some point. Maybe I should start it there.
This is the place, but where is everything? Materials for alchemical experiments,
Someone took
matrix
it?
diagrams, and even the seal to the lab. They're all gone. Did the Black Tide destroy it all?
No wonder we didn't set any defense mechanisms along the way. Have you ever been here before?
No, not even close. Not only are alchemy experiments high-risk activities, but Professor Anaxa also has a penchant for using bizarre materials. Students often saw him walk in looking bright as rain, but come out covered in soot with his hair singed. Naturally, no one dared to come near this place. Huh? That bookshelf over there seems to be the only thing still intact.
Part 3 of the debate. These are the materials requested by Anaxagoras. Documents from various fields have been compiled in one place, including Titan creations, the universality of the soul, alchemy doctrine, and so on. Most of the materials look to be within the research domain of the Newspurst School of Thought. However, a document titled A Study on the Chrysos Heir's Background is mixed within. Easily written journal. These appear to be quick notes examining the background of Chrysos Heirs, the Holy Maiden of Yanisopolis, Tribi, Trian, and Trinan, descendants of the Holy Maiden from the Temple of the Three Fates, Goldweaver Aglaia of Akama, from the Menestia priestly family, the Prince of Castrum Kremnos, Hyacinth of the Twilight Courtyard. All of their ancestry have varying degrees of connection to the Divine Titans or the Divine Authorities. Does the Golden Blood come from the heritage of priest families or royal bloodlines? Anaxagoras, I myself show no such connection. Kefali the Creator, What criteria did they use to create the golden blood, to shape the Chrysos heirs? Yet Castorus, the servant of death from Idonia, her lineage is neither Titan priest nor demigod, but she has walked the earth for at least a millennium with the power to grant death to humans. Where did this power come from? Another text speaks of the dragon legends of Styxia. The alchemical extraction of soul ripped from dragon corpses is intriguing. Dragons appear to be the Titan's creations. Perhaps there is a way to reverse the process, using alchemy to refuse human souls with Titan creations, increasing the purity and divinity of golden blood toward the absolute. This theory must be tested. Experiments to be arranged.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Alchema and... me?
No mention of a cipher. This journal contains several intriguing points. Creations of Titans. From the Abyss of Fate to Casham Kremnos, I've seen many a Titan creation during my time in Amphoreus. Life forms created by Xerxes can also be found in the Grove, but fusing them with human souls through alchemical means? I can't even begin to imagine. Chrysos heirs. Anaxa seems to hold special interest in the divinity coursing through the Chrysos heirs' veins, and has even conducted a thorough investigation into the heroes' backgrounds.
Wouldn't have been so strange if they'd focused only on Cassie, given her own curiosity about her origins. Plus, considering that the new sporists have crafted omnipotent medicines capable of curing diseases, it also makes sense that he would conduct research on immortal Chrysos heirs. But now, it seems Anaxa's objective was never to create medicine, but to identify the origin of the golden blood and figure out its inner workings.
Anaxa's research. Through alchemy, Anaxa aims to refine the golden blood in the Chrysos heirs to a degree of purity equal to divinity, so that they wouldn't need the core flame or something else. This must be what he means by close to true purity, but treating both Titan creations and the human body as materials to be used in alchemy experiments? That's rather extreme.
Danny, look at this. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hastily written journal 2. These documents appear incomplete. Judging from what's left behind, the important alchemical formulae have been taken away. Only the author's reasoning remains. The previous approach has flaws. Fusing human souls with Titan creations does not purify golden blood. Even pure Titan creations are contaminants to the Chrysos heirs' golden blood. Soul fusion between humans and creations merely repairs impurities of the soul or maintains a connection to dying souls. While creation myths tell us that Chrysos heirs and other creations were all made by Titans, their nature differs fundamentally. The Titans' creations are no intermediate products of an alchemical process. The Chrysos heirs are closer to the Titans than the creations. In other words, I should not have considered Titan creations equal to Chrysos heirs. The hypothesis I should focus on is one pointed towards Titans themselves. Such rare chances to study Titans demand a meticulous selection of research subjects. Living Titans prove impossible to restrain, and dead Titans offer no insights worth pursuing. But dying Titans, they are the perfect research subjects, carefully then. Only by understanding the fundamentals of creation can we ensure perfection at the moment of everything's birth. Through my own hands, I will melt a Titan and reach the true essence of the soul.
My biggest fear. It's come true. After going through his notes, I think I can piece it all together now. Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation.
You mean he's trying to reconstruct human souls alchemically?
Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, this is the real blasphemy. Oh, I just thought of something.
Using blasphemy to hide blasphemy? What's wrong?
You remember when the Black Tide was approaching, the Grove had planned to send Cersei's core flame to a safe place. But an accident happened along the way, and Anaxa lost his life in the process.
But Cersei took over his body and resurrected him. which led to the situation we're in
That's
now.
right. But what if Professor Anax's fusion with the core flame of reason wasn't an accident?
On purpose. What do you mean?
Put yourself in his shoes. Knowing that the black tide was closing in and your time was running out, what would you have done?
Test the theory. I put my theories to the test, no matter the cost.
Exactly. When the black tide came, the true reason Anaxa headed to the luminary throne was to transmute and fuse himself with the Titan's core flame.
Did he succeed?
No. Judging from how he reacted after the event, the results came as a surprise. Maybe he failed to consider the possibility that Circes would make a similar decision. The manuscripts detailing all the alchemical formulae have been taken away. His research is still ongoing.
You gotta go to Dawn-Cloud then. Could he have taken them for other purposes?
What? There's only one Titan left in the world now. No. No way.
To conceive an entity of perfection, one must first understand the principles of creation. If Anaxa is an Alchema now, then that means...
He's after Kefali.
He's after Kefali! Okay, got it. Back to Anaxa?
Sir, this sky above us, it's not real, is it?
Of course not. This is just an image from a projection device used for educational purposes. A simple trick. The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan's miraculous power to manipulate the light, projecting the nights of the past here for you. Much like how the sky above the Holy City is also illuminated by Kefali's dawn device.
So, the skies of Akama are fake too.
You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa. You should know that only a child would expose a trick and be proud of it. Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance because they have no other choice.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
Then they're just deluding themselves. People believe in Kefali's tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever the priests preach. But we're different. We've already walked out of the firelit cave of ignorance. We have already realized that we live in a world where Titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky, we're only seeing what they allow us to see. Rather than gazing at this mockery of a night sky fabricated by them for the rest of my life, why shouldn't I be the one to take control of the projection device instead?
So much time has passed since you sowed the seeds of doubt in my heart, child. Many a night, I find myself penning down all my theories and wild ideas, only to burn them to ashes when I open my eyes in the day.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning if word gets out?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. Every word I say and every move I make is certain to influence every leaf, every branch, even the tree itself.
Was this before he established a new spur
But
system?
above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. In the next meeting of the sages, I will spare no efforts fighting for the rights you deserve. Go. Establish your own school of thought.
Oh, quite the teacher.
Find out what we are. become the one who conquers the ultimate truths of the world.
Child of humanity, you didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
Yeah, he's gonna do some melting or transmutation.
So, you figured it out. If I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas, I am a human, standing tall on 2 feet, possessing both intellect and pride.
Before such power, does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
Maybe.
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them,
They have a screenshot of
they
the
didn't
place.
just give up and become sitting ducks.
Definitely going there.
They constructed a dam
I
that
mean,
kept the
considering that we
roaring
need to find
tide at bay,
Thanatos.
chaining down the mad Fagusa.
Fagusa. Not Fagosa. Got it.
They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just, as I see it, Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way to tame.
Oh? If power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy and brave the trial?
If you knew about the Eons, he'd be trying to tame them right now.
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so much more? The source of life is what I wish to grasp, to understand what makes up the soul, and to learn what we really are. Thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning.
How does the
How
soul
then
begin?
is a soul born? That was the only unknown variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it, you have already formed a conjecture.
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa. I'm here.
There she is.
His life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary steps.
What's he about? Like, is what he's about? Is the transmutation gonna fuck with me?
Of course. I'll bring this to a conclusive end and give you the answer you so desire. However, in accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I must also demand from you what I need.
As you wish.
Don't you care to know what the price might be?
At this point, she doesn't
It's a
care.
matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and his survival. This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life. There is no need for me to think twice.
Oh,
I see. In that case, let the show begin.
Indulge me. Am I correct to say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck in a cognitive trap all this time.
why is this not actually Cersei's?
As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are merely two different ways of telling us about what the soul is at its core. The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Not quite.
Yes.
Or yes.
I am but a living dead man now.
Wait, did they say it was in
But
the
that's not
Netherrealm?
important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes. That's not all. Remember how I said you were a part of that conversation too, Circes?
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you would remember.
That's before Calypso became Circes.
Because that wasn't you. That was Calypso. One of the 7 sages of the Grove.
Calypso?
Huh? Oh, that's the name I made up on a whim when speaking to this girl.
That was Alias.
How
I remembered.
do you know of it? And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of all people, would know if that were the name of one of the 7 sages under the shade of my tree? Don't you claim to know the Grove's past like the back of your hand?
It seems you've lost even the memories seared into your soul. Use your head, Circes. Since all of this took place in the realm of the dead, it stands to reason their likenesses are of souls from the past. The living cannot step foot into that world. So who could they be? Think about Calypso. Why does she share your likeness? Yet you have no idea who she is. The answer is evident, is it not?
Come on. You are Calypso.
Those fallen heroes are the mortal incarnations of the Titans before their ascensions to godhood. The gods aren't master creators born out of thin air, and they are no different from humans, because they all evolved from one. Does this answer disappoint you?
Yes, because you've answered nothing. If I truly was once human, as you claim, then where do the children of humanity come from?
Even on the off chance that you speak the truth, this brings us no closer to grasping Thanatos' whereabouts. How are we to find them?
We have to find, what was her name? Pixia?
I knew you would say that, but it matters not. I know what I'm doing. Actually, why don't we have this supreme being standing before us tell us everything?
Chaos.
You can revive a Titan?
Humans cannot return from the dead. Neither can gods. But all we need to do is look at this from a different perspective, and the problem will resolve itself. The solution is simple. Just like what you did to me. If I'm reborn as Kefali, I can rebuild the world and all within it as they once did. Simple, is it not?
I doubt it's that simple, but give it a shot, I guess. In the meantime...
I have news from Hyacinth and Danhung. Anaxa might be trying to do something with Kefali's divine body.
Kefali? But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders going to sit around and let such a sacrilegious act unfold?
That is not possible. He is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with his tricks.
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Kainis is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans.
Alright.
Being Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt gods. Become the next challenge you are to overcome. Till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
We'll be waiting here for good news. POV?
Preposterous!
Okay.
The Christos heirs only have their standing because of the Council of Elders. How dare they trample over it?
Wow, these people are shooting daggers with their eyes.
It's been a while.
Groneros! But we've never met.
That's fine. I recognize you. The young lord has nothing but good words about your courage.
It has indeed been some time, Lord Crateros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh. Keep it down. Be more vigilant. See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for kindness. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
Nothing like blood.
My bad.
Some iron.
So, did something happen?
Did you hear thunderclaps last night?
Hooray, it's Acheron! Someone's coming to save us!
What?
Oh.
He's been through a lot lately, please pardon him. Can you tell us more about these thunderclaps?
No.
Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words at Akama.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver is back.
Yeah.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back at the Kremnos arena.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out to me anytime.
You have my gratitude. I will let Aglaya know about this right away.
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious kindness has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps undercover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the council.
Oh.
That's...
Looks like you can see it for yourself.
We should get back. Thank you for the intel, Lord Crateros.
Oh, hello. Talented. Scale of justice. Punishing the unjust, balancing discord with law. Those who think they can evade judgment do not realize the scales measure all transgressions. I wonder if these sounds actually mean anything. Because frankly, I don't know. Temple here. Don't mind me. Okay. What's my penny at anyway? It should be at 10 now, because I think I did sinkables. Yeah.
By carefully into lantern above, as the Theoros I have observed. Virtuous citizens of Akama, Finan Vides, Elysiae, and the Outlander are heading toward us.
Not quite. I'm curious about one thing.
It's still early. Where to now?
What's your thoughts? As you sit down, the light of the stars begins to ripple before you. The waves shine and the air seems to resonate with echoes. Tribby. Oh. Okay, fair enough. No need to talk about the being a collection of memories quite yet. I'm assuming after all this is resolved, then I can...
Still early. Where to now?
Aglaya, what
happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites, no longer capable of relating to the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate, but that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaia. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Gradually losing your humanity. Man, you must really like debates, huh?
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kethely's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you.
Do you hate the Chrysos heirs?
Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice.
I can see them voting for Era Chrysia. Obviously, that's what the council wants, but I can see it just because it's a familiar time, right?
Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
Only one will make it to... No hesitation. I stand by Era Nova. Era Nova is a path of salvation the gods promised. Do not have doubts in the Flame Chase journey.
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again.
No. They're finished here.
Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages. And Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these two heroes, I can promise all of you that Era Chrysia will exist once more.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya is unfit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Era Chrysia.
Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
Well, it's just the Council of Elders right now.
Castorus? Why are you standing over there?
Part of the equivalent exchange.
Naxa. So have you, Kaz.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
I doubt it's that simple. Members of the Council of Elders are discussing fervently.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Oh my god. Isn't this just survivorship bias?
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that flame reaver, right? Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Erechrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the flame chase journey will have to end.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed.
I wonder, how well Aglaya would have fared if she saw her humanity. I imagine very, very well.
Goddess of death will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
Fucking smirk.
What? With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorus brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Erechrysia will return to our world once again.
I don't think it's gonna happen. The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By Kefali and Talentin above, as the Theoros I have observed.
Is this when Hyacinth and Donhong show up?
Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the flame chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement. It's always just the members of the Council of Elders, though.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the flame chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
God damn it. Lygus announces the conclusion of the debate, and the attendees part ways. Castris, what's going on?
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
Why is Castris the only one?
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
What happened when you went to look for Anaxa?
In actuality, he showed me
POV switch?
a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
One of them being her sister? Warrior named Nye split his soul apart. That is Nikdor's past.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen, until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king.
How big is this dragon?
Queen assembled 300
Just settling in
warriors
a bedroom.
who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy.
It feels similar to Anaxa right now.
The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp. Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well.
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia. So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image. And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Alright.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Yes.
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Same little lip syncing as casters, unfortunately.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange.
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Oh.
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
This caster's the one who's brought back?
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good, if such a mighty power really existed. I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life,
This is when she becomes Thanatos. Then. Oh.
I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price.
Well.
Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life.
Lines up with the trial of death, but not.
I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
Oh my god, they work fast! That was the last one for them?
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same.
Sacrifice yourself or your sister?
How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, The topics that they're discussing seem familiar.
They were Crisis
But
as well.
these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held 3 hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Regarding this matter,
Say his name.
Ananias,
There.
are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Well, it's a path laid in blood and war, and eventually your death.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason. You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Kaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
Are we just not just repeating the cycle though?
I'm not that brave.
I imagine there's a way to change things.
I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Nias. As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is in fact...
There you go.
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia.
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
Probably Styxia.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Anias. Emerge from your cocoon.
Oh, cool. Where is he?
Show me some of that trailblazing strength again.
It's you again. As always, there's a reward for good behavior.
Good behavior. Check the memory shown right now, so let's
Lord
investigate
Nice's
this.
honor is sealed here.
Incredible. The honor in this child's soul is so light.
Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today. It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula. Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly his sacrifice.
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us
Tenacity,
from the pervasive
honor,
spread of madness.
tenacity,
They are
honor,
acutely
reason,
aware that if
courage.
the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer.
Sacrifice.
I believe that his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought Nikador, we also released it from the stone statue.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
Didn't he say the same thing? Oh, to casters.
All
Yeah.
farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
Not that you're gonna
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin.
Eternal separation.
Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question.
You saw yourself being crazy?
Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living afford the same amount of bliss.
That's his voice.
Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
What's more immediate?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door.
That's such a chill dude.
I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Alright. Time for the sacrifice.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Polixia. I'm here.
There's Castros.
What? This...
This is quite interesting indeed.
Is this... Polixia's sister?
Are they one and the same, or is she a remnant? Or did Polixia choose to die alone so that Castros would live?
Is it... me?
Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
Do you mean it in the sense of you wasted all your time taking care of me? Because I don't think she felt that way.
You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers. One that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death.
Jesus. Okay. That's like... That's fucked. You have to pull her heart out?
After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Yep.
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf.
Is that who Castros is?
Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life.
She has to kill her sister. I mean... I suspected as much.
As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world.
Just like we're doing now.
Just like the flame chase journey of today. Amphoreus' history is cyclical in nature.
Huh. What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new Titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
It'll just repeat the cycle though, so is there a way to break it?
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
You gotta go back to their home.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown?
Yeah.
Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Fagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I've also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
the new Sporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation.
Did they consent?
Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Then GG no re.
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses.
I like how his smirks are like slanted.
Actions speak
Or
louder
maybe
than
it's just from an
words,
angle.
Castorus. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, his life is also slowly slipping away. But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
The ascension to godhood.
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart?
If it was from his heart, he definitely consented.
If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager,
Oh, thanks for
I
follow,
lost my faith.
Zaki Live One.
A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process.
So what's losing one more thing?
Now I'm merely forsaking my body.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
The more he talks, the more he sounds like a fucking like I'm the big bad antagonist. But I feel like that role is unfortunately reserved for Finan. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Currently, we gotta head to Styxia, right?
A lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaia, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa, has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace.
I feel like the Flame Reaver would interfere.
But
no?
I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mr. Soul.
Yeah, I'm very attached to my soul,
Well
so
said.
please get it back.
You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without
He knows
death.
what he's doing.
Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve.
I really don't get why Castorus's lip syncing is so awful.
Lord Mighty showed me that without taking
Nor
the first step,
why they haven't
all
fucking
talk of what
fixed it.
follows is moot.
Castorus, you've changed.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass.
Why did I...
And I am glad to have heard your truth.
I didn't mean it like oh, you've changed. I'm so sad about that. I meant like, oh, you changed.
Styxia.
What fucking
visited
frowning,
that place
huh?
in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorus and meet the god of death himself.
Alright.
Castorus, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aklaya.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Trebe is probably...
Yeah, no need to use the gates of passage.
The answer is quite simple.
We have the Philosopher's
In
Stone,
the
right?
Mims, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Nether Realm as they pleased.
Oh, am I finally meeting Cypher?
And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Part of Fellas Import. The tumultuous day finally comes to an end. Everyone disperses, each lost in their own thoughts. Donhong isn't back yet, huh? Nameless recollection. The servant tells of the mystery within the myths, and a scholar seeks answer a forbidden puzzle. The truths learned during your travels. Head to the book and write it down. Mem. Or I guess now Mem actually speaks English. That's the look of someone lost in thought. It's time for a bedtime story. I love stories, but I adore them more when Bub tells them. Just save a few for before bed, alright? Having uncovered the secret behind Aranova, now drop in that strand of nameless recollection. It makes a lot of sense why the world is shaped like a Mobius loop, because it just keeps repeating itself. Hyacinth. Is this the first one? I believe it is. Yeah. Healer of Light, Hyacinth, in the courtyard. On the leaves, the rustling wind plays a melody as the girl looks over this courtyard petite and exhales, gently dispersing the palm-held blessings. The entire yard is lit softly, like a dandelion bathed in sunlight.
Is this courtyard a tad too small? It's okay, Clementine. As long as it provides warmth plenty.
The girl makes the courtyard tidy, and in the Evernight lands outside the Holy City, there is now a light curing souls' maladies. The girl's skills can bring forth miracles, but today she welcomes a patient quite special. Oh, already next page. Okay.
Welcome to the Twilight Courtyard. How can I help you?
The gravely patient shakes their head.
The end times are coming, and we all wander more and more. Oh, you may heal our wounds, but you cannot cure despair.
The girl watches the patient leave, and her heart swells in sorrow.
Clementine, prepare some things of me. I want this place to be brighter tomorrow.
You just need some hope in your life to cure your despair. But that might be hard with the whole black tide stuff. The redhead child takes the girl's hands.
See you, Hyacinth. Are you here in Akama for a visit, or do you need help?
Tribute Triad. The girl recounts her needs.
I want some shining things, even if they're considered junk.
Multicolored paper bags, crystal clear glass, cottons variously dyed, and jingling wind chimes. The girl brings them back to the courtyard and spares no effort to decorate all around. And when some fireflies wander in, the girl is all smiles.
Little ones, thank you for your light.
The patient returns here and opens their eyes wide. Multicolored dreams on the rooftop now reside. The lawns contain the sweet whispers of sunlight. A soft breeze passes with no hint of cold, only serving to wake the playful chimes and ocarinas of delight.
Wow, there's light everywhere. What a warm place.
Find it? The news is soon spread by the grove, and people with empty hearts visit in droves. The girl prepares candies and tea, and listens to every visitor's complaints. People say there was once a star called the sun in the sky, but now that star is no longer there. People say that Aquila took away the world's light. They still left behind a heart bright, to illuminate this happy dream in the night. Like the blizzards in the month of mourning doth calamity fall, burying warmth and dawn's calls. Orderless tides swallow up the grove of reason, and that tiny healing haven is also extinguished, broken, and barren. When the girl, far from home, hears of such grave news, the wind brings to her a moment of confusion, but it also evaporates the tears that briefly sparkle into being, and the girl still smiles bright and happy. Black Tide. This is talking about 3.1, no? Soon, the people of Akama see once again the girl collecting more pieces and tokens, wanting to rebuild that pure haven. But she never realized that wherever she stood, she herself was that holy courtyard, that light-filled haven. Act concluded. That's one. This is Nexus second. Let's forget the stories, that's the first time. The scarred, not the broken. This is a tale buried in history. One day, a student elated in victory dashed around the grove's territory.
I saw the spell the professor carved on his body.
The youth with white hair was beside himself in joy.
It must be a power most secret. A means for one man to stand against 1,000.
That spell was rare indeed, for it was a secret way to overturn a cart of hay. The scholar was still a mortal body, as yet to snatch life from death, or to reforge a new flesh through a god's remedy. Various minute tricks and parody, he studied them all, crafting schemes oh so busy. For everyone knows, he wishes not to use the divine power that is his, refusing rightful custody. And in that unwitnessed moment of his death, final tragedy, he still held the hay cart spell steady, standing alone, facing the evil enemy, Flame Reaver. Now that craft is regarded as a magnificent study, not because of what it was, but because of its purpose, known to everybody. In fact, he once crafted miracles, forging silent servants using soil as vehicle. Though no sentience, they do their job without obstacles, rivaling Titankin in spectacle. However, one day he suddenly changes his tune.
Creation is the Titan's work, and slavery is the Titan's manacle.
Well, I guess this is before the
When imitating divine evil, there's no need to invest reason, most pinnacle.
When the servants have all been recycled, he deigns not to explain, fearing to waste his reason or muscle, so he jokingly concludes the questioning with a chuckle.
If it's just for odd jobs, students are a better gamble.
The way he addresses himself comes from elsewhere, an imitation of a divine machine with some flair. He happily answers 5 questions for those unaware, knowledge seemingly given with stingy care.
For a wise one, 5 answers reveal creation's secrets, the truth hidden and bold. But a fool learns but not, and is left in the cold. Now, inquire.
That is, in fact, the scholar's crafty snare. He hides the answer he seeks behind questions posed by those unaware, doling breadcrumbs as bait to lure and compare, whether the inquirer may be worthy of his wisdom to share. Trying to feel them out, see if they're inquisitive enough to learn what he's learned. Okay. Just thinking about it regarding the fucking Acheron dialogue, it's kind of messed up to say it in front of Finan because she killed the Kevin of her world, and Finan's basically Kevin. The scholar never looks at laws and measurements, ignoring the flow and shift of time's passage, and uncomprehending students gossip in eager
He
regiments.
is panicked by the flow of time, for his work is yet
Why?
done.
Obviously to drag out class time as a statement. The students' answers seem rather adamant. The stubborn assistant interjects in a rare display of testament. The passing sage from another school brings an admonishment. Outside the courtyard, the gossip flows into the scholar's ear. He silently gives a grade to every question and argument, but none know the true answer, according to his judgment. Act concluded. I wonder if what Anaxa is doing to circumvent the prophecy will actually bear fruit or not. Or if the Flame Chase journey will continue regardless of what he does. Willing to adorn the living. Born with an evil curse, her hand dips into lethal cinnabar and white lead to personally decorate the faces of the dead. Her skills are said to bestow beauty on anyone, even transforming their appearance completely. And many skills were born out of her seclusion, but it painted her dwelling in a gloomy vision. Only a select few have set foot in this mansion, and the thief and the weaver were 2 such lucky persons. The girl converses with all items in the house, with specimens, tea sets, and even pillows in profusion, as if she can hear the responses of these non-living things.
I have always lived in isolation. Out of courtesy, this is how I practice my words and actions.
It's hard to believe her explanation. Her face when talking shows such a gentle disposition that unless she is telling fabrications, she must regard her partners as mere children. She regards Crisis heirs as children. People passed these rumors down. Within the area of her encirclement, all things became frozen, escaping time's increments. Rumors. Oh, okay. So what was said in the last page was a rumor? It is an exaggeration, that is certain. People only found an ancient lion's head in battles ruined armaments.
Those words are true.
The head itself was nearly dead.
Though they won in fierce battle, the warriors were powerless to turn the tide. It was the embrace where death dwelled that gave early release from their pain.
This is how death escapes time. She keeps every final embrace hidden in her immortal heart. Out of her numerous works, butterflies and flowers often stand out stark. Ignite them, and you can almost hear the maker's remark. Even in death's silence, her sound can still be heard. It is a gift greatly treasured by the maiden. Few have the honor to be graced with such work. Only one has the heart to burn such a gift, and the reason she gives is rather far-fetched.
I must peer into all fates unknown.
Alright, Glad. Let's say if the flame chase journey succeeds, that means that the Trailblazer would become a Titan. There's still places to go. Places to see. The power of time is boundless, but there is one thing it cannot conquer.
Death is abominable in humans' eyes. Apart from my identity, there's nothing about me worthy of praise.
The beloved Gold Weaver hears this in distress, then tries to teach her the art of weaving in threads. It has been said that the maiden has works that the Holy City possesses, but this is the judgment the Gold Weaver expresses.
Ah, well, none can know all things, nor be skilled in all crafts. Her works are too early for the living to comprehend.
Only until she bears the core form. The Flame Chaser's path has been lit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cypher will be 8. Trailblazer, potentially 9. Bagusa. What was her name? She looked a lot like Eden, though. I forget. Everyone's stories are so deep. I can't keep up. Does Bub understand them? What is a god exactly? Something like always peeking at others. It sounds so odd, and with such a familiar tone. Bub's past really is something special. But still, I don't quite get it, so let me ask in another way. There must be a difference between gods and us, right? Otherwise, why would anyone ever want to become a god? To avoid being controlled. To escape the pain. To rule over all. Or perhaps, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I agree with the first one more than the second. Control? Could it be that we're already... if it's because I was controlled that I met Bub, then I suppose I wouldn't mind being controlled. As I keep asking, I only get more and more confused. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown a little more before discussing these things with Bub. Holy shit, 21? Oh. Okay. What time is it? 2:17. And another. I'll just do the other temple for help. Do a public video anyway. Alright, 30. Cool, Gallagher. I've been pulling on Acheron Banner because I would like her E4. And eventually E6, but I don't know. Jiao Cho would probably make more sense in terms of the buffs he provides for Acheron.
Nice.
Do I hop off? Or do I keep going? It's late. I'll hop off, but I promise, I'm using the P word, I promise that I will finish the story stuff for Amphoreus next time I stream, which will hopefully be later today, and earlier time. That's the goal. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I am gonna hop off now. I'm curious where everything's gonna go. Or I have an idea where things are going, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. Nax's goal is to rewrite this world. Will he succeed? Can he succeed? At the very least, he can't bear the core flame of Kefali. That is something only Finan can do. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I will hop off now. I want to stay on and play more, but I feel like it's going to take way more time than I have time for. If I streamed earlier today, I would be able to do it, but I didn't. So, yeah. My final assignment is due at midnight today, so I will have to do that, but once that's done, I have nothing else I need to do. So it'll just be Star Rail, and then bada bing bada boom. So yeah. Friday we'll be hanging out though, so probably won't stream. Probably. Yeah. Guess that's it. I'll hop off now. Yeah, I'll stream later today. I'll get a good night's sleep in, hopefully. And, hopefully be well rested enough. Because, honestly, I've just been so lethargic and fatigued these past few days. Where it feels like I only have energy right now. That's not a good thing. In no way is that a good thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I will hop off now. Goodbye, and see ya.